Hello and welcome to another edition of the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Tricia Pichette, and joining me today is Commissioner George Lindsey, who's going to talk to us about what happened this year at the board retreat. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you, Trish. Appreciate being here today and share with the audience what we do in our retreat. Each year, that's the prelude to our budget session. The Commission gets together with senior staff and kind of sets forth the goals and objectives and policies moving forward in during the budget process. In most recent past, we focused on public safety, making sure the sheriff has the assets he needs to get things done on his side of the ledger. And also, we've put a great focus on fire and EMS, giving those folks the training, the tools, the assets that they need to make sure that when they're called to the scene, they can respond appropriately. So that's been our focus in the last few years. This time we took a pivot and said we need to think a little higher elevation, you know, the 30, 40,000 foot level. So what are the issues that we're going to be facing over the next 20, 30 years, not just next budget year, but way beyond? And the four items that came to mind at that time setting the agenda was a sustainable water supply for our county, traffic and transportation issues facing our county, affordable housing, and mental health issues. Now, in reverse order, Polk County is a participant in the class action lawsuit against the opioid manufacturers to get part of that class action settlement, so as to use those dollars to address the issues that have been raised here in Polk County. Unfortunately, the largest mental health facility in the county is the Polk County Jail. Mm-hmm. And that's a sad story, but if we can recover some of those revenues in order to help those people in that situation, that's where we will direct our focus. And also is to make sure that the many programs that are available across the county, we avoid as much duplication as possible so that each of the service providers operate more in silos rather than operating in cross purposes. Mm-hmm. So that's one of our goals. Affordable housing, there's always pressure on keeping costs down and allowing young couples and single retirees and what the whole spectrum of home buyers being able to afford clean, affordable housing, including rentals. So that's an objective that we don't have a lot of control over, but where we do have control, we wanted to enforce that objective, that goal. Sustainable water supply, I've shared with you in the past, Polk County is participating with our municipal partners to have a long-range water supply, which is very complicated, but basically we've got to go deeper, and it's going to cost more to get to the deeper water. It's going to cost more to treat it. It's going to cost more to transmit it. But there's no more cheap water. And with all the municipalities in the county drawing from the same aquifer, there's a limit to what the aquifer can provide. We don't want to cause damage to our lakes and streams and our wetland areas, so we can't continue to draw that upper Floridan aquifer. We got to go deeper. And we're working well with our city partners to do that. Anything of this magnitude involving this many partners is going to have growing pains, and we are experiencing those growing pains, but we'll work our way through them because we're all working for the same common good. And we all represent the same people, the citizens and visitors of Polk County that are here today and the ones that will be here in 20 and 30 years. So that's a tall order, but it's an order that we have to address. We can't, that's a can we cannot kick down the road. We have to address it. Traffic issues. Anybody that's driven around Polk County lately knows we have traffic issues. It's often that the county will meet with young students and share ideas and just listen to students' concerns. At a recent meeting, a young lady asked me, explained that her neighborhood has traffic issues and getting to school and to work and whatnot, and asked us collectively, what can you do about it? And the short answer was nothing. Today is as good as it's ever going to get. It's only going to get worse based on the revenue streams that we have to deal with right now. So we're exploring other opportunities of how we can meet that demand. The good news is we have about $800 million worth of road projects underway today in Polk County.
Wow.
The bad news is we have $1.2 billion unfunded roadways and intersection improvements. So the challenge is, how do we get from here to there? And how do we address the need, serve the general population, and at the same time be fiscally responsible? That's the challenge on all of these issues, being fiscally responsible and providing the service that the customers, our citizens, deserve. And that's our responsibility and that's our charge. So on each of those fronts, we'll continue to weigh all the alternatives, weigh the cost benefits, weigh the sources of revenues and how they are best spent, and make a decision. And like most decisions of that magnitude, it will not please everyone, but usually when you find that middle ground, most people will come together and recognize that the need and our common interests far outweigh our divided interest. And that's the objective of this Board of County Commissioners, is to find that common interest that serves the most, recognizing our obligation is, again, 20 and 30 and 40 years down the road when we're all long gone. So that's a big charge.
It is. You took 4 huge bites out of 4 huge apples. Wow.
I think this board is up to it. We will start nibbling around the edges until we eat all of that apple. But that's the charge, and that's our responsibility. And our oath of office is to represent the best interests of our citizens. So that's what we plan to do. And we did not get in this situation overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight. And Polk County is a fast-growing county. And to stand on the sidelines and watch that tsunami coming our way is not responsible to turn our back on it, because it will overwhelm us, whether it's on the sustainable water, traffic, affordable housing, or mental health. Those issues are in front of us, and it's our responsibility to address them responsibly.
Well, thank you for your hard work, and thank the board for their hard work and their vision. We appreciate you looking as far forward as you are.
We'll be back next year and tell you how we're doing.
Terrific. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Commissioner's Report.